So the tasks within the goals, you went through each.
Yeah.
The actual statement,
Right.
But it's and then went through the tasks.
Does that tell you the state of mind I'm in? You really trust it. Okay, so, demonstrate supportive attitude toward employers, business, property owners that promotes economic development and high standards of livability in New Kaiser. Thank you, Council President Starr, for already doing that in last night's meeting. Strategic issue statement, economic and community development promotes strategic alliances between community members, civic and business leaders, business developers, and government agencies and other interested parties to strengthen communities and economies. Economic development is a concerted effort of policymakers, community leaders, and entrepreneurs to grow the economy, increase employment, and improve the standard of living in the city of Kaiser. Do we agree? Any changes? Moving on. Kaiser City Council priorities. Identify and sell city-owned property, already in the process. Revisit Willow Lake settlement agreement to expand land availability. Evaluation of urban growth boundary options. Complete parks master plan revision. Complete housing capacity analysis. Complete economic opportunities analysis. None of those have time limits. This is a 5-year plan. How do we feel about this? Any disagreements, any changes? You're the important one. Yes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a clarification on the complete parks master plan revision. Is that the one that we're almost,
Yeah.
or that we're finishing?
Yes.
So my suggestion would be, I'm not sure that belongs in a strategic plan because in this one, because by the time we're done and this is approved, we're already gonna be done with that
Maybe.
for the most part.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's an important thing. I think we want to memorialize that we want to have that done. I anticipate that master plan revision, I mean, I think we're gonna, I'll bet you they'll end up about the same time. But remember, we pushed this, yeah. So,
And we pushed the parks one back, so.
yeah. So I think we should leave it. What do you think?
And we should.
Okay. Okay, next test. Develop a comprehensive economic development strategy, CEDS, to have ready projects for state and federal funding. Have we ever done that?
No, we have the COG prepares the short, they call it the SEDS document.
Oh, this is not, okay, that's what CEDS said.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, comprehensive economic development strategy, and it's a lot of the federal grants are pushing towards regionalism, and that's what they've done for work. That's why they have these SEDS document. The COG set it up such that we can create our own lists and add it as an addendum at any time.
To the regional plan. So do I understand you to say can we still go after federal and state money, or does the federal and state money only go to the regional plans now?
This would strengthen any ask that we have for federal requests
If it was in this,
to be able to say it's included in the SEDS.
and how do we get these included? We do it as an addendum.
Yep, staff is prepared with all potential projects out 10 years
Okay.
and bring it to council.
So do we need to develop a comprehensive economic development strategy? Do we need to add language that says to be included with the regional sense, or is that just assumed?
We could reword that so that it was more clear.
Okay,
So we really developing ready projects for state and federal funding
yep,
to be included in the comprehensive economic development strategy.
yeah, that's what we're doing.
Reward it.
Yeah, could you do that?
Yeah.
Everybody. Okay. Complete the economic opportunities analysis. Have we even begun that?
Let's see, sorry, I was looking for Shane. So we applied for it last year through the COG wrote an application for us.
Okay,
We didn't get funded this year. And so every year we'll have an opportunity to apply for that.
So this is not completely, economic opportunity, this is seek funding too.
Well, yeah, the.
We can't do it without funding, correct?
Yeah, the state funds most of them. And so that's why you apply every year, but there's a it has to flow with the housing needs analysis and the, yeah, it's a chicken and egg thing between the housing needs analysis, the economic development, economic opportunity
Can it be
analysis.
completed in 5 years?
Yes,
We feel 100% confident.
if it's funded. Yeah, if we receive.
That's what I'm saying.
So if we receive funding within, yeah, it's probably a year-long process.
Okay,
I
so
think we're due for it, so
we're due for funding,
Mhm.
okay?
Ours is, more than 5 years old. And so if you look at the age of the applicants, that helps us.
And is the economic opportunities analysis typically a 5-year look forward?
Mhm.
Okay,
And that also, plays in with the UGB expansion too.
well, sure.
Um,
So I don't think we should say complete the economic opportunities analysis. I think we should add seek funding too. Is everybody okay with that? Because we don't do anything until we get the money to do it. Is that, we can't do it independent, correct?
I mean, we could if you want to pay for it.
Well, what does it cost?
Probably, probably say $60,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to. Okay, so can we just add seek funding to? Are we okay with that? Okay, so that we don't look like in 5 years that we haven't done it. What was wrong with us? Okay, prepare and implement an annual marketing plan for the Kaiser Event Center. I have separate feelings on that. How do you both feel about that? And what have we done to them? Do we have one?
Yes, we do have a marketing plan currently. We've had one for about 2 years.
Okay, so prepare and implement,
Where are you doing?
and it says annual.
And we've actually been working with Andrew, Jackson. He was
With who?
helping Andrew Jackson, he used to work for Kaiser Times. Then he, closed up shop and decided to go work somewhere else. I think he's at the post office now. But then we identified another group in Salem. That actually 4 or 5 years ago, we'd actually started a branding process, marketing type process where. So we've reconnected with them and they've kind of taken over the plan for us. But we typically get a document once a year that lets us know, hey, go spend your marketing dollars here or there. And we've been slowly kind of building up the plan over the last couple of years to reach more areas.
So I question this even being in the strategic plan. I mean, this seems to me to be like business as usual. And I mean, what, am I wrong?
No, I mean, so when I think of a strategic plan, I think, at least when I've done them, they've always been, you have your typical things that you do on an annual basis. So I guess I struggle with where maybe I need to stop and take a deep breath and rewind here. Help me understand the thought process behind putting annual tasks in a strategic plan. Cause maybe I'm not reading it right.
But I think of a more, to add on to that, just before you. I think if we said, okay, in the next 5 years, we're gonna focus on the black sector, and this is our strategy for offsetting the cost of the event center. That's what I think is a strategic plan, not an annual marketing.
Mhm. Yeah, where I think this was born out of is, working with the youth chamber for the last 2 years to try to get a marketing plan. And we said, oh, well, they should we should have one too. So we've had one. I don't think it needs to stand in the strategic plan because it's something we need to have annually. So I don't know.
Although I would like to say, I mean, if y'all have a strategy, well. Okay, are we gonna scrap it?
Let me just clarify.
Shane's gonna clarify while I get these.
Go ahead.
I might just add, some of these tasks were developed back when this process originally started. So probably about that time, we didn't necessarily have a solid marketing plan for the event center back in 2020. So this is probably a case where, it's on the radar, and we've actually taken care of it over the last couple of years, so. It could be something you take out of the task list.
Okay, perfect, which is that's why I was asking, so I would take it off if it's something that we're doing every year.
And do we see that on an annual basis? We the city council?
You will see the end results of it through our budgeting process. In there, we identify the places that we're gonna be doing some marketing with, for the event center. It's probably not as prominent as it should be, so we can definitely.
When will we see that?
Probably, well, I know our event center manager is kind of in constant contact with them. But I think probably closer to, January, February, we'll have a good plan for the rest of the year.
And so is the plan, is that something that, now I'm just asking questions, because have we agreed we're taking it out of here?
Sounds like it's already.
Yes, and I have a clarifying question, another question.
And that's where I am too. So it sounds to me like staff prepares this annual marketing plan. You bring it to the city council, do we then say, great idea, or here's what we think you should add? I mean, do we have an opportunity for input on that marketing plan?
We've not done that, we've done that in the past. We can definitely bring the document forward and say this is where we're planning on doing that.
I don't think that's our.
I think the total marketing budget's,
Yeah.
$10,000-15,000, so it's not a super big line item.
Oh, okay. Okay,
You're in the weeds too much.
clarifying question.
Yes. Okay, or did Kyle go?
I just said, yeah, we get into the weeds.
Yeah, I don't wanna get in the weeds. I have too many weeds already. Could we do something like, maybe put in here, review. Cause by the time we're gonna be, we'll be close to coming out of COVID 5 years, right? So at some point, could we do put in here, do a 5-year review, of event center business?
Oh, I like
And
that.
identify future opportunities or future, business potential, or, how do we want to refine business practice? Something about looking back 5 years to see where we want to go
I like that a lot, you.
the next 5 year, specifically for the event center.
Sure, I think that's a great idea.
I do too. Okay, you got that written down, Adam? That's a better task.
I am writing that, and I do, awesome.
Okay, moving on to identify visitor patterns to enhance visitor experience via Travel Salem's capabilities at least twice a year.
So, should I explain this to,
Yeah.
you and I had talked, the others two might not know.
Yeah.
This is using their Pacer AI, data, which, they've
It's
allowed all the,
Mhm.
what's that?
It's fascinating.
It is. So, we've actually, done it, for our baseball complex, and it'll tell you exactly where people are coming from. They're coming from, In-N-Out Burger, 40% of the time, the 30% of the time from Chick-fil-A, and, back and forth from Volcano Station, the zip code. Anyway, you get traffic patterns and visitor identification, and it really helps you, market and help also.
So-
Story to developers that are coming in also. So they've offered all their members at least, 2 times a year. They don't want to get overburdened with everybody using it, but, so that's why we said, let's take advantage of it.
So that comes to us in the form of a report. So then this would be, rather than identify, this would be review the report. Identifying visitor patterns and enhancing visitor experience. And then, so that just means you shouldn't have to explain that. Remember, I'm just a basic person. So this needs to be written in basic person ease. Right? You get that,
They call you VP.
huh? Yes. If Rhonda doesn't immediately know what that means, because she doesn't work, and she's far more involved than other basic people. I would hardly call her a basic person, but I would call me one, and if I don't understand that, and you have to explain it, you can't explain it to 40,000 people. But I like it.
So you said review their.
Review the report, because we're gonna get a report from them twice a year.
Mhm.
So review the report via the Travel Salem's, whatever their program is called. Via Travel Salem's AI report, is it AI?
Mhm.
Sure, but AI report, to
Well,
identify visitor patterns
tell
and
you,
enhance
it-
visitor experience.
It's just saying it's really not AI report, it's actual metadata from people's cards and cell phones and, you know, everybody, Google's following you and Apple and everything. That,
We track everything you do.
Big Brother's watching you, I'm gonna see you when you're at Chick-fil-A.
so carry your burner phone.
But this, what is the council needed? This is basically a staff level procedure, right?
Yeah, it's something we haven't taken advantage of, and so I think that was just being intentional. We were talking about staff, this.
I'll take it, Kyle.
Group with saying, hey,
Talking
let's
economic
use it.
development, I think this would be critical.
Mhm. Yeah, telling, being able to give information to businesses that are looking there. In fact, a lot of businesses use the same software in their development, so, so it might be more helpful to the locals or smaller businesses that don't have that type of access.
I just don't see us using it other than you reporting, staff reporting it to us, so it's public.
Exactly.
You know, it's really not something for the council, other than, what you guys are using out of this.
But how many times do you run into somebody who says, hey, you know,
Yeah, but that's in a report that comes to us.
that's what this is,
Yeah, that's all it is.
that's all it is, it's information. Okay, so you know how to change. Update the Parks Master Plan to incorporate enhancement to the Kaiser Rapids Park for economic activity opportunities. Yeah. Any changes?
No, I just think that if that's already done by the time this comes to council, that we take it out.
Well, we don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If it's already done by the time this.
Then we don't
comes
need
to
it.
Council.
Yeah.
We don't need it, and so I would take it out.
I feel that way. If we did. Okay, provide a recommendation from staff to the city council on whether to implement an urban renewal district.
Can we reword that and just say, council will review staff recommendation?
And is that possible?
So this was something I learned working with Mo Avishon, who did the strategic planning for HP, and so he was trying to turn things into measurable goals. And so for this one, like the goal for the staff is for us to provide a recommendation to you,
Uh-huh.
and that's why it's written the way it is. But I mean, not to say it can be written better, but the
So is this-
measurable is provide a recommendation.
So is this staff strategic plan or is this the council strategic?
This is the council's strategic plan.
So then it should be written, council will review recommendation from staff. Like, I think that you could very much take the approved strategic plan and reword some of the tasks or whatever. So it's worded in measurable terms for staff. But I think in this document, if this is the one that we're reviewing to bring back to city council, it should be worded from the perspective of it being council's strategic plan. I'm 100% fine with taking the approved version and just rewording it to have an internal version for staff. But I think that reads funky to me if this is council's strategic plan.
I agree with that. So, yes, Bill,
How about something like city council to determine whether to implement an urban renewal district? As the council goal. The background is the staff work.
from staff recommendation,
Doesn't necessarily have to say that.
Yeah, something.
Just the council to consider whether to implement an urban renewal district. That's what I'm hearing is that's the council's goal. How you get to the goal is staff's assistance to
Yeah.
help get you there, but that's not really the council's
But it
goal.
is,
Part of the process, don't get me wrong. I'm just
Yeah.
listening, and I throw that out.
Okay, this is what we're gonna miss. I just want you to know, this is 30 years walking out the door.
so this is the council's plan, but it's, we are, understand
Of it.
that has, that you can't do it. So, and it's also how you measure the success of staff, the team here. So. The same thing the council does, I guess, when I'm thinking about it, when it comes to back to evaluating me. I can control what the council does, control what I do, I can provide a recommendation. Whether, what you do with them.
That's why I said council will review staff recommendation on what.
And make a decision.
Yeah.
And make a decision to implement.
That's why I worded it the way I did, right, because
So Bill's right, though. It's whether or not we're gonna implement an urban renewal district. And I have a question on that. Can we even do that now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tax increment financing.
Oh, I'm
That's
aware of
what
it.
it is,
You-
right?
it
I
is.
mean, so you can freeze the taxes on River Road. And I think that's what the idea was from it, that,
But we can't do it independent. We have to go to all of this other governments and get their approval to freeze that. And is that, I don't know what the current rules are. I've been gone for 10 years. Are they even feasible? Can we even do them?
yeah, they're done all the time. Do you want to speak to that? You probably.
Still, are you sure? I know they still have them. They renew them and they expand them. We closed ours. We should. Yeah,
Sure, there's always the opportunity to reopen the urban renewal district or create a new one.
now wait. Reopen?
Well, I misspoke, to create a new one.
Okay.
If the old one.
Got me excited there for a minute.
But you are correct, it would take the consent of the overlapping agencies. And it would be quite a fairly long process, in fact, if they're in the case of which area of the city do we want to redevelop, it doesn't make sense to freeze the tax increment revenue there.
So just to remind you, we built this with an urban renewal district and we built Kaiser Station. But we had to have, I forget the percentage, and it may have changed, of the governments that had to agree to it. Because we stopped. Everybody knows what incremental tax financing is, right? I don't know. I don't know if they're even doable now. I understand
Yeah, they do, there's a lot,
new
with my
or,
colleagues, yeah. Yeah, they're done frequently. So,
for a particular purpose.
but, you know, we don't wanna make the decision, really, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
That's important, we have.
Okay, do you have enough information then to?
Yep, I think I'm gonna go with the recording on what Shane said.
Okay, good,
I didn't write it down, but it's on the record.
okay. Create and adopt a 5-year plan for how we will use transient launching tax funds for economic development. That's pretty darn clear, isn't it? Challenge the Willow Lake settlement agreement to expand developable land. Do we want to have challenge in there? I mean, yes, that's what we want to do.
Well,
We
I-
100% want to do that.
I-
It seems kind of aggressive.
Well, it was a settlement agreement between four governments and
Or,
Polk County, Marion County, Salem, and us.
okay,
And so and to stave off litigation. So us. I mean, I think you want to maybe revisit it.
Yeah,
But like full on challenging it as somebody who was potentially sued under it sounds like an odd like position to take.
now for
So,
sure.
revisit, using Coach Lindsay, Mr. Lindsay, his word. Revisit the Willow Lake settlement agreement and determine next steps. For possible expansion.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can. For possible expansion of land development, land, whatever.
Within the
Yeah,
UGB.
that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I'd rather change that to from challenge to revisit
And explore next steps.
and explore next step. Yeah, I like it. You good with that? Counselor Duran?
Yeah.
Is that a red pen?
Calm down, calm down. Be happy with these red pens. Okay, sell city-owned properties in Kaiser to pay down first debt. Do we want to be that definitive about what we're going to do with the money? I don't care, I'm just asking a question. I mean, have we made the decision? I didn't think that we've made the decision. Have we?
Through the budget committee and then through the council action on the next, in 2023.
Is this PERS debt our unfunded liability? Okay, it's not the recent $1 million, okay. Okay, so yes, leave it, okay,
Can I ask a question?
yes, please do.
Sell city-owned properties in Kaiser? Why would we own property not in Kaiser? That's my point.
Well, we found them that we did on one.
We
last
own
year.
property outside of.
You know, Adam, you're right. That's
Gave it
right.
away, but it-
We did find out we owned a property outside of Kaiser. That's right. It was across the parkway.
It was that little.
It's a sewer lift station. A little piece of property, with a sewer lift station on it, but for the city of Salem that we own. You're right, Adam. I'd forgotten about that. Good point.
Yep.
Not that we know of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We had an inventory and that wasn't included.
That's right.
So-
That's a good, I'd forgotten about that. Good point.
Sell city-owned properties.
You would
Period,
just say sell city owned
Yes,
properties,
yes.
pay down.
in case we find a new one. To pay down first debt, okay,
That's right.
so we're gonna scratch in Kaiser, because we don't know. We might get a gift. Okay, prepare a recommendation and develop an implementation plan for middle housing, ensuring diverse housing option, good God, within Kaiser's UGB while aligning with community needs and zoning regulations. Do we need all of those words? Joe?
No. That's a lot of words. So
Why don't you say,
it looks like you're trying to come up with a recommendation and a plan.
middle housing?
Yeah.
Right? Why couldn't we stop there? Why do we need all of that other
Recommendation for an implementation plan.
for middle housing?
So I think you could end it there without the detail. I mean, that's stuff we can keep an eye. I think this is a compliance.
Basic
That's
person,
something you can't control.
does a basic person need to know it ensures diverse housing options within Kaiser's urban growth boundary while aligning with community needs and zoning regs? I don't think so. Do you need that basic person, Rhonda? Is it enough that you know that we're going to work on middle housing? There you go. Yes, Bill?
Question. How do you develop a plan for something you have no control over?
So I was gonna say, it's all based on.
Oh, we have no control.
We have no control over middle housing. It's state law. So you don't, I'm curious how you could create a plan over something you have, as a council, have no control over. And you can't have control over it.
But
I
then we
mean-
have no control over.
You know, there's a parcel on Verta Lane just coming in for 8 units, cottage cluster housing development. Okay, that's developer driven. Okay,
And we have no control.
no
over
control
whether
over it.
or not
We can
it's
control access, improvements, public improvements, that kind of stuff. In that
Yeah.
particular case, we can't even force them to improve Verta Lane. Okay, it's no curbs and sidewalks on that part. We can't make that happen because it's a state law. Okay, the middle housing,
It's a state law to have middle housing.
middle housing
But
law,
we can't say that you put sidewalks.
we can't. So,
And I think this is a state, compliance with the state law.
Right.
Well,
that is a confusing goal for the council
It
because
is.
you really don't have any,
We did
you
not
have no
realize that
control.
We couldn't make conditions.
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
I guess you could do a plan, you could maybe do a plan to encourage
Yeah.
middle housing.
that's where
If
I've
that's
seen
what
it.
you, if that's what you wanna do.
Like for your housing capacity analysis, there is a toolbox where you could consider, oh, we actually want to give certain SDC breaks for these. You know what I mean? It's turning it around and saying we even want to really encourage this would be one, you know, do we want to develop that attitude or do we want to develop just come what may, or you know what I mean? So there is probably a posture you could take towards middle housing.
FEC credits as an incentive to put freaking sidewalks in?
Well, sidewalks are like
The challenge is our current development code. You can build a house on a vacant lot in Kaiser and not have to improve the street.
The
Okay,
street or the sidewalks?
Either.
I did
Okay.
not know that.
If there's no, if there's a no curb and sidewalk on a street. And you want to develop a parcel in Kaiser, or put a house on one parcel, we can't require you to put sidewalks in. Okay,
Do we have control over that? Can we change that?
that would be a Shane question, that's primarily the development code, so we do have some control over that, okay?
but I mean, there might be questions like this.
Crazy not to.
To have a goal.
Sidewalks. That could spur neighbors on both sides to do the same thing.
Good.
So is,
Yes, council. Let's be informed. Counselor Starr.
thank you, Madam Chair. Is that then what you just said, it's a development code, just prompted me to ask a question of, do we review our development code in the next 5 years?
I would say the development code is reviewed regularly,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Okay,
Sections through the planning commission, I mean, that is an ongoing, regular activity.
Because the state's constantly making.
Well, that's part of it, but it's also stuff that we find as staff going through development, okay, going through the code and say, this part of the code is conflicting with this part of the code, we need to clean that up, okay? So that's a regular occurring activity, and I don't see that stopping.
But-
Remember, the other thing I was gonna mention, this middle housing piece,
uh-huh,
the state really controls that. The state, this Verta Lane property,
mhm.
the state middle housing law prohibits us from making them do street improvements. It's not just our code in that case, it's also the middle housing law. So it's challenging. I'm just, it's really challenging.
So to kind of the point about like, the sidewalks and, things like that as part of our development code. I think that's what I'm asking.
Mhm.
Cause it's not necessarily changing the development code in response to what the state's changing. It's just us looking at it, deciding as a council if they're on the things that we have the ability to change to enhance
Mhm.
the livability and well-being of our community. Why wouldn't we look at those things?
So, yeah, certainly can do that. And I know there's some limitations involved in what the city can require under the term rational nexus, okay?
Yeah,
Well,
That's a legal term. And so we have limitations on how much or how far we can make requirements, okay? But I think that there is the ability, I know there's the ability to amend the code and change requirements to a certain level.
so I think that's where I'm trying to get to, is those things that we do have I don't know if the right word is latitude or ability or leeway to change, right?
Mhm.
Why wouldn't we have those conversations and have the conversations with our community as a whole and say, what is it that we want to, when it comes to this issue or this issue in our development code that we can change, why wouldn't we have those conversations?
Mhm.
To update and do that if we can't, I'm not
Sure.
saying that we change anything. I just think if we have that latitude or that ability, we should have the conversation and ask our residents, what is it that, here's what it is, here's what we can do. Is this what you want? Is this, or, even as a council, we should have that conversation.
It's covered pretty much, planning commission covers this.
But you said you didn't know.
I didn't know about that instance.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
we had we had an excellent work session, if you remember, on sidewalks. This never came up. That we could not, in new development, that we couldn't require that they put in sidewalks, curbs and gutters.
There are certain sections of development, single family homes primarily, on a lot. You cannot require street
But
improvements.
But it's our. but
That's
it's
our
in
code.
purview.
That's our code, yes.
We do not.
Well, yeah, our code does not allow us to, okay? We can change the
About
code,
sidewalks.
but again,
Last videos that we required any, even an improvement on how adduct and sidewalks.
So-
Or
I mean, I think we're crazy not to do that because they're putting in all of that expense in. It's nothing to roll that in to the building of that home. As compared to doing it later and try to get it done
I
later.
disagree.
What do you think, basic person?
I think they should require sidewalks, but
I agree.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
So what does that mean for this issue, or is that another issue?
that's why I said,
Review.
where have we got the sidewalk piece in here? Have we already covered that? Where we said we're gonna give $100,000 a year sidewalk caps, whatever, goal that was, this should go there. So then I'm hearing work group
I've
members.
seen
Goal number 2.
goal number two.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I thought we'd already done it.
Yeah.
So I think we should add that to goal number 2, Adam, what do you think? We should add to review the development code for new building to include sidewalks, curbs and gutters. At least have a conversation, review the whole development code,
Well, I mean,
holy cow.
what are the, okay, so to the point, we have all said we didn't know that.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we didn't know that,
What else is in there?
what else, that's my point. Why are we not having the conversation? What else is in there that we didn't know about? So why wouldn't we have this conversation and review it in the next 5 years?
Do you think you can get through the whole development code in 5 years? I
Not
don't know.
that building.
I don't either.
The changes the states.
With my experience in working with the development code over my career, you're really talking primarily about the public improvement requirements section, okay? And that's a small portion of the
There's a
overall
lot of
development code.
information.
And where they fit in, and that's really where the attention should be
Yes.
placed, because there's a lot of other zoning pieces to the development code that are about as good as they're gonna get. I mean, in one sense, what I'm trying to say is really not a need to update it or review it, because the zone is the zone, and what's allowed in the zone is what's allowed in the zone. And you're seeing some of that with the text amendments that you're going through with the change bringing you for Kaiser Station properties and that. Okay, that's gonna be, in my opinion, something that's gonna happen over time, throughout time, based on a need or a desire for a development, okay? That doesn't mean you review that whole section of the development code. That's what I'm getting at. So,
So could we add that to goal number 2, to say, review the public improvement section of the development code, particularly regarding new development responsibilities for sidewalks, curbs and gutters. Why are you laughing?
You put a lot of words in.
All right now, AI now. Okay, that makes sense?
But I
Yeah.
still, are we reviewing that one section?
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Okay.
Okay, so then you're saying we're gonna scrap that whole middle housing situation, because we can't do anything about it anyway. Is that right, Counselor Duran? They prepare a recommendation, develop implementation for middle housing, we can. The state has done that for us.
So,
Go ahead.
I think we can offer recommendations. But the city's gonna have to put something in it to make it, to give incentive. That's kind of fun thinking. If we're gonna make any changes, that's the only way. Because the incentive is gonna be by the developer, I mean, the developer's gonna do what to make it, and people are gonna buy what's available.
Mhm.
Or not, if they don't like it. You know, I still can't believe all these houses that are crammed tight together are selling. I would want houses that had one back there, either, 5 feet away from me, but they're selling, so they're gonna keep building.
Right,
I don't know.
Would it be?
so,
I wanna see the ones up on Clear Lake Road.
what,
I wanna see the ones on Clear Lake Road that aren't built yet, how
why?
those sell, because they're 25 foot wide lots.
Man, I know.
They're tiny. Like,
Are they
like,
gonna go up?
yeah, they're
Yeah.
2 or 3 story townhouse,
It's almost like, yeah, row house.
row house. Yeah, that's better shit like row houses. I'm wondering how they're gonna sell. I wouldn't buy one. I have no way I'd buy one, but there must be a market for them because they're gonna build them.
Well, there's
A
market
great
for
starter.
independent, a great starter.
Yeah, right.
You know, the stuff on OPEC, stuff like that,
Yeah.
they're just crammed together,
Mhm.
they're selling, that's the things.
So is it
People want to buy that stuff.
review the potential for incentive,
Yes.
development incentives?
That,
I don't
some,
necessarily need them, except for things like improvements that you can't mandate.
that's exactly what we're saying.
Right, and so we need to, do we just say that, review that. Is there-
Yes,
is there
that's what we
things
want that
can
middle
do?
housing goal to say.
Yeah.
Review potential incentives for,
For
public
public improvement.
Yeah,
That-
that's what I hear you guys say. That's the only thing we can do. Is that correct? For middle housing?
Typically, when the state preempts us, we can't make it more onerous for development.
No.
We can make it
it's
more
not.
generous for
Right, that's what
development.
I mean.
And so,
SDC incentive breaks.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we'll lessen the permits or something.
Yeah.
So that you'll put the money into putting sidewalks in, which benefits the city in the long run.
Mhm.
Those are the only real things we can do, from my understanding,
Mhm.
thinking about this. Can we make, is there anywhere in there that we can make it work for the developer and for the city to make a benefit?
I mean, really, if, I think we'd be open. I think we'd be open to providing incentives if it included sidewalks, curbs and gutters. That's our goal.
That's what we should talk about. Hey,
Yeah, 100%.
in that instance, it should be nice if we could get sidewalks on Berta Lane, and if we can find a way to
There you
get
go.
developers to pay for
Mhm.
a section or a part of it
Mhm.
as a, here, we're gonna give you concessions on this, so you'll give us this.
Yes,
If we can do that, it benefits us on using the SDC's fees or using something like that, anything that we can get that will make it a benefit, so
so,
it's just another
so
conversation.
you understand what we're saying, right, Adam?
I have, reviewed potential incentives for middle housing. So,
For. Narrow it down a little bit, review potential incentives for public benefit with middle housing.
Shouldn't it be everything? Shouldn't it be that single family home as well?
Oh, yeah,
So don't use middle housing then.
That's
That's where I want.
no, we put that in goal number 2. To review the public improvement section of the development code. To change that.
Okay.
This is just speaking to middle housing, because you said, we can't do anything with middle housing. We
Right,
can do
middle
whatever we
housing, we
want.
don't have.
So this is specific to,
Okay, okay.
to middle housing.
I got it. I follow.
And we can
No,
offer,
we've seen them both.
Got
we
it.
can offer the
Okay.
same thing in single family,
Sure, yeah.
but our hands aren't tied here as much.
Okay,
Okay,
I follow.
was that clear, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Rotate and add new, we need to add in the word public art to River Road. Anybody disagree with? We have some real fun opportunities coming up with, Jim Johnson, who has passed away. His daughter is not willing to sell any of his stuff, but he's got some real fun stuff that's not on display, such as full-size horses. Yeah, and they're cool. They look really cool. So as soon as K-PAC identifies some spaces, we can do some of that fun stuff. And then adopt the K-PAC master plan, and what that speaks to is adding the street art and also the brainstorm art, but it's with Public Works right now. Any changes there? And we're moving on. We're moving on to goal 4, operational efficiency and quality service. Provide efficient, effective, responsive government through stewardship and accountability. I'll read these. If you want to change anything, just say, hold on. Running a well-organized and trustworthy government means making smart financial decisions, being responsible and staying accountable to the community. As Kaiser grows and changes, it's important to keep decision-making open and fair, using resources wisely and building strong relationships with residents. Listening to the community, using facts to shape policies, and regularly improving city services will make sure the government stays effective and responsive. Any changes? City council priorities, ensure transparent budgeting and resource allocation. Strengthen community engagement. Optimize city services and infrastructure, continuously evaluate, refine municipal services to enhance responsiveness, accessibility, and operational effectiveness. Okay, task. Complete an internal assessment to evaluate organizational efficiency and cost-saving measures. Are you doing that, Adam? You want to speak to that issue?
Yeah, it will be a task.
So.
I think it goes right along with our public safety task force. Making the case there that we're working as efficiently as we can in all the organizations, not just.
Implement a process improvement program and recommendations from the internal assessment. Okay, goes hand in hand. Conduct a technology audit and needs analysis to determine the most effective and cost-efficient use of the city's use of software and tech. Is that not ongoing? Could you start with Bill's office?
Actually, things are really clean in the, well, not Bill's office, but in the other one, in the IT department, I walked by like, wow, they really should have. And anyway, we have added a lot of technology over the last 3 years, and it's probably a good time for us to look back and say, how's it going? And just still the best use of our money, and or what are other places that may be advantageous. One of the most recent things we were talking about is the contract management software, which we don't have right now, we're using spreadsheets. So it's a good opportunity to do a gap and overlap analysis
Okay,
for a tech.
okay, so we won't change that. Develop succession plans for all mission critical senior staff positions.
We can scratch that now. Because that was-
Can I ask a question?
There was only one.
Yes.
Or just a verbiage question? So. Do we need the words mission critical in there? Because I feel like if we have senior staff positions, we should have succession plans for all of them.
100% agree.
I was just gonna say that,
100% agree.
you know,
So even though now we look pretty good, because we have new Joe, and he's not going anywhere. for a day or two. And-
I'll accept.
And he's not going anywhere. And we have Ken, but he's not going anywhere. So we look better now, but I just am a believer that we should always have some type of a succession plan for, you know, who's second in control, should somebody get ill and not be able to work, you know, we just should always have that. So I would like to leave that in there.
yeah, and I was thinking, we have Tim as, you know, sort of.
Assistant city.
If you were gone for a long term, Tim could, because he's been trained up as that position, he could effectively take over your position. And juggle things around, and we could get by without you for a period of time. Without having to hire somebody immediately.
And that's what we're talking about.
But who's gonna take?
Right, well,
But the rest of the stuff that.
that's the one where we've had more discussions about that than.
But,
Yeah, and then who's gonna take Tim's spot? Who's
Yeah,
gonna do that?
yes, but.
but there's more people in that department that could help take that, and he could oversee that. Where with, Bill doesn't have a second in command that is interested in taking that position over short term.
And Bill was the second in command, under Bob,
I remember that. when
Yeah.
Rob was here.
and he slid right in, it was slicker than a bean.
But we don't have that now, but we should have that if each position has somebody.
For public works, we have 5 people,
Right,
not one.
Yes, but those
Because-
people are.
Because when
pathetic to
when I
their
tried to
work.
hire a superintendent after I was promoted to director,
Yeah,
I was not successful. We didn't find any. We didn't find the right candidate, I'll just put it that way, okay? And instead of trying to push that model forward, and granted, that was not a great time to hire people, everybody's working, but. I restructured things and took a lot of duties from the superintendent and spread them across the divisions. And that's worked really, really well the last 12 years, 13 years, okay? There are times it'd be nice to have one backup, there's no question about that. But overall, I promote and I say it's really worked well to rely on those division managers to run their divisions and take on those tasks, so.
Well,
And that would be getting into a lot of the operations, but I'd rather invest in those 4, 5 and get them working kind of like their own BLT at that level. So that they're more aware of what each other's doing and then trying to fund that second person.
so that may be your strategy that you'll bring to us and share for public works. But what are the other strategies?
We've, there's something in place.
So who's the assistant chief of police?
We've got
We've got
three lieutenants.
Wayne, Nelson, and Hine.
Oh, it's
Trevor served the criminal.
Any one of these lieutenants, any one of the lieutenants could jump in and have, and in fact, kids.
So if something happened, we would not have,
Lieutenants and.
we would not have a chief, we would say, these three have to agree on something? I'm just asking,
No, we appoint one as acting chief for it.
that would be like the succession plan?
So currently, Madam Chair, I'm the acting chief because chief is now out of state currently. And he assigns whoever is the most appropriate at that time, whoever is available. Any one of the 3 lieutenants can take over that position because we're all cross-trained in each other's positions, to include the chief's position. In addition, we are accredited through the Northwest Accreditation Alliance, and one of the new accreditation requirements is that we, as a police department, have a succession plan, a career development plan for members of the police department, starting with the lowest officer all the way up to just below the chief. So we, at least on the police side, already have that requirement that started Jan 1 of this year. And we're gonna have to show proof of that we've enacted something, we have a plan for that succession.
Great. That's, I think that is terrific, and that's probably why they initiated that. It builds confidence if people know we've already thought about this, we've already got a plan, we've got these 3 people, here's what's gonna happen. I think that that's smart to do rather than wait till we have an emergency.
Yeah, so if honestly, Bill was the last senior position that this was a concern of, otherwise I probably wouldn't have thrown this into the council's realm, because for his position, he was planning on leaving a year from now. Financial support is where we need the commitment from the council to be able to overlap. We're trying to do that now, but what I've learned over the years is we can't always have a backup in-house. Sometimes if Tim dies tomorrow, there's nobody in his office that can do what he does.
Is there somebody who can do most of what you do?
No,
Like we're just screwed?
not even one. We would have to bring somebody from outside who knows Springbrook, maybe get some in another city, or a county firm to come in and handle us what he does. Sometimes your backup has to be the private sector.
Well, okay, but isn't that something that, like, do you have anybody potentially who could be trained into that?
Him and I talked about it, and we kind of have a plan. Well, I don't kind of have a plan, we have the plan, we've talked about it. So, I don't know if I had more to it, but.
I guess I wouldn't say if I were to, well,
Win the lottery.
if I were to win the lottery, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
That's right,
If I
win the lottery.
Come on now. If I were to just walk away, the daily processes, the daily stuff would happen. It's really the stuff, the budget, the annual audit, those things that we would need back and bring some resources in. And that's the kind of thing that, you know, you could go to any finance director and borrow for a couple weeks, months, something like that, to be able to backfill those kind of roles. So I wouldn't say that we're exactly screwed if I were to not show up tomorrow. We'd be able to operate for a while. It's just the bigger projects that we really need some additional support.
Don't you have anybody that's interested in taking your job?
Probably need another FTE to really get that position. Our folks are so focused on the day-to-day tasks. We don't have any excess capacity.
Okay.
That's really kind of what it boils down to. We've been operating for 4 years on a lean budget. We've never had, the accounting department has shrunk over the last 15 years by about 2.5 people.
Really?
So
As we continue.
as the city has grown, and that's not uncommon for accounting and finance departments. As you add technology, things like online bill pay, you don't have to have someone standing there running the checks through the machines for half of the city anymore.
Okay,
So some of those things have made things more efficient, and then online bills, we're not having to have someone stand at a printer, gathering the printer, stepping in the envelopes. Things, I mean, a few things like that we've gotten rid of. So that's why you're seeing accounting and finance departments shrinking. We can do more with the technology that we have. But having said that, we intentionally lost a person in finance, so we have 2 people in IT. So that was a strategic move we did 10 years or so ago. And I think that was the wise choice at the time. Do I wish I could have backfilled my role at the time? Yeah, kind of. However, we don't have unlimited resources. So we have to make choices.
but is that something that, I mean, shouldn't that be on our radar? We have to make it through till we get some debt paid down in 29, is it 2029 that we're gonna be in better shape?
It will have a boost, but it's not definitely not a problem solver. It's not one, it's not a.
You're all-
long-term solution, yeah. I mean, I would venture to say, I don't think there's a city under, or over 30,000 in the state that doesn't have a dedicated assistant city manager. Right, we've got a department head.
So we had one, remember? We had Kevin for a while.
But I would honestly put a backup for him above somebody that did.
Well, I would too.
So, but
Okay, well, so those are the kinds of things we're talking about, so.
in the discussion we've had, it was Brent say though, is that if whenever he has a vacancy, that he would do a restructure in get a position that had a higher skill set. Because I think
I didn't catch that last time.
Higher skill set.
a higher skill set, yeah, because he has great employees, they just don't have the skill set that he does, accounting and finance, spreadsheets.
So, I don't hear us eliminating this.
No.
I think develop succession plans for all senior staff positions, regardless of how you identify and
We need to develop and maintain
Yeah.
succession. So it's not something that, it's a one-time thing, it's something that is a continual working.
maintain, develop succession plans for all staff, senior staff positions. Yeah, we're gonna leave that, right? Okay. Create an asset management plan for all city property with a value of over $5,000. Where are we on that? Oh,
That's why it's in here.
okay, so we haven't even started, that's okay,
And it's good. I'm glad
that is good, yeah, it's great, and we're not gonna change that at all, are we?
No.
Okay, conduct a condensed review of the water master plan. I talked a little bit about this with Bill.
Mm.
There's some things in so the current water master plan is what, 23, 24 years old, something like that.
Not quite, 2009,
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's better now.
yeah, it's about 16 years.
Okay,
So,
I feel better about that.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's over 20 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's things in there such as a new,
Reservoir,
thank you, a new reservoir that it was anticipated the city would continue to grow. Well, guess what? You're out of land. So we didn't grow, it's in there. And I talked with Bill and he said, there's not really anything everything we need to do, we're doing within the current master plan. But shouldn't it be updated to reflect reality? I don't know, ask him the question. And we also talked about, couldn't that be a condensed review? Is that gonna be? Is it gonna be excessive in expense to do that? Because it's not unlike the little update of the master plan for the parks or Parks Department. That's what this is speaking. How do you feel about that?
It's needed.
Bill? Give us your
Master
expertise.
plans need to be revisited every 10 years,
That's what I.
okay? To determine if you're on course, okay? Because they're 20-year documents, they make projections 20 years out. We all know how accurate that is, not accurate, and it can be, okay? I believe firmly that our water master plan is getting to the point where it needs to be updated, okay? And I don't mean a comprehensive update, but I don't mean a condensed one either, okay? It needs to be updated and evaluate the need for this additional reservoir that's called for. And we didn't end up needing it yet, not because we didn't grow.
Well,
It's because water use did not go up
Well, that's
as
right.
anticipated, okay? All the faucets are low flow faucets, landscape irrigation is more efficient than a hose and a sprinkler. There's a lot of factors in there, okay? And that's industry wide, that's not just Kaiser, okay? But that needs to be looked at again to determine at what point are we gonna need that reservoir? Or can we just dismiss the need now? But it needs to be updated, okay? And it's not a condensed update, it's an update. It's not a new master plan, but it's an update.
so
Okay.
what's the cost for that gonna be?
I'm gonna say $40,000 to $50,000.
Okay.
Okay, that's a guess. I think that's a reasonable guess. And I think it's really important because it does also solidify and reinforce your capital improvement plan, okay? Because other than that, as I've said, other than that reservoir in our CIP and the master plan, it's water line replacement, okay?
Yeah,
But we're working with a water system that's 40 years old now, okay? We were working with a much younger water system back then. So are there other things that come along? Well replacements, okay? That's probably gonna be something that ends up in a master plan. You need to put together a program and a plan to not rehabilitate, but replace wells. Because they wear out. I mean, it just happens, so it does need to be updated in the next, I'd say 5 years.
well, that works out well, because this is a 5-year strategic plan.
So we take out condensed review.
Yes.
Update, an update.
An update.
That's something that should already happen, doesn't necessarily.
Well, it's not gonna happen unless we got it written down and pushing for
Or
it.
at this point, it should be in here because. Because we have an issue with, well,
And
somebody knowing what's going on.
And honestly, I have hesitated to update the master plan because I didn't feel the need to, it wasn't necessary to spend the money to update the master plan to get the same answers, okay? But it's getting to a point now in time where it's time to spend the money and it's time to update it, right?
I think we do too.
So,
That, it's good to have.
Okay. Determine policy for water, sewer, storm capital, specifically continuing a pay-as-you-go or changing to a debt financing model. And that'll be part of that for the master plan. Anybody disagree with that? Part of it, I think it will be included. Would that be included, Bill, as part of the master plan?
No, this is a
Oh,
policy
it's sewer.
issue here. This is a policy issue.
Yeah.
Up until this year, we pay as we go.
Yep.
No debt. Without the raising of fees, this year ended up financing some projects. So we think we should have a
Conversation.
conversation.
Yeah.
About it in the council.
Determine policy.
And there's pluses and minuses to either way, there's not a right or wrong one.
Yeah.
But
And I think you've got that right, determine policy. So, yeah, I think that's exactly right. Complete research and recommendation for a utility discount program for residents under the age of 60 years old and in need. That could be reworded, that was you. It could be reworded, but yeah, I think we've all agreed with this. I think. Yeah. Can you AI that sentence, please?
Counselor. Something that
Bill.
I think you might want to note in the water master plan update
Yes,
is following that, I would put a target on a rate structure, water rate structure analysis.
so including,
It's separate. You gotta do the master plan first,
oh, okay,
okay? And after the master plan's updated, take that information
And
and,
then-
and put that into a rate structure update. It's been a long, it's 20+ years.
I think that's a separate.
It is a separate task, but I
Okay.
just want to get it noted so it doesn't get overlooked, that's all.
Okay, so let's put that in there, water rate,
Or begin, when is the master plan update?
in the next 5 years.
So then. I would say something like. Cause if you don't get them, this is how my mind thinks on a strategic plan, if you don't complete. The master plan update until middle to end of year 5.
Mm-hmm.
You can't then also complete the rate review.
Mhm.
By the end of year 5, so I would figure out a way to word it to say begin review.
How about complete water rate analysis following the water master plan update?
Or how, schedule a water rate review. Because that you might
Okay,
be
yes, schedule, yeah, good, that's better.
I just think it's important to note it so it doesn't get overlooked. That's why I brought it up.
Utility discount programs, we know that, okay, continued water main replacements is defined in the water master plan. I mean, do we need to put that in there? That's not strategic, that's just already there doing it, yeah. So
I'd
let's-
say yes,
Yes, leave it,
leave it.
okay,
That drives your goal. I'm
And it
I'm
is.
gonna play you here for just a second. Your goal, to meet your goal, we need money. You're gonna have to raise the rates. So I want to left it in there.
You gotta, we know we have to replace certain amount of miles of pipeline every year
Right.
to keep up to date,
Mhm.
not getting too far behind. And so the measurable of this will be number of miles replaced,
yeah,
miles of pipe. That's-
okay. All right, we'll leave it. We're moving on. Congratulations, we're at engaged community. Strengthen community relationship through improved communication to foster a welcoming and accessible community for all. Strategic issue statement, creating a strong and welcoming community in Kaiser starts with clear and open communication. When people, businesses, and local leaders listen to each other and share ideas, trust grows and everyone feels included. By using different ways to connect, like meetings, social media, and public events, Kaiser can make sure all voices are heard and important issues are understood. Encouraging people to speak up and work together will help build a city where everyone feels valued and involved. Keeping communication open and improving how people connect will bring the community closer and make it stronger. We good?
Good.
Kaiser City Council priorities: expand accessible communication channels, strengthen public participation opportunities, improve language and accessibility services. Now, I will say in that regard, I've been on that road. And accessibility, there's no such thing as full accessibility. It continues to change and evolve, and some things we're going to be able to do and will maybe improve saves us. Because we can improve what we're doing, but we can't solve it, because as soon as we solve one, there's an additional, well, then to do that, and, you know, it's just it's a Gordian knot. But I want to make that statement, but I think just in leaving improved, I think that's great. Last, foster partnerships with local organizations. That's our Travel Salem, that's our COG, that's, you know, all of our partner organizations, chamber.
Can you say something like. Local and regional stakeholders?
Instead of local organizations,
Yeah.
okay,
Or, you know, regional and local partners, regional and local stakeholders, something.
you don't want to say regional and local organizations? You want to get rid of organizations?
Well. That might mean the Amazon distribution warehouse in Chicago. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But I think when you say partner or you say stakeholder, it has a different meaning than just an organization.
What's your preference?
Between partner or stakeholder,
Stakeholder.
cause that to me,
They got a dog and fight.
Yep.
You agree? with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so that will say foster partnerships with local and regional stakeholders. That's one. Okay. Tests, develop and implement a citywide communication plan. Example, community letter, social media policy. You wanna add?
well, I wanna make sure that this is including the things that we're doing now. I think Rhonda, you had a question about that in terms of, the communications plan, and I know this is, you know, for example, community e-newsletter, social media policy. I just wanna make sure we're not gonna lose, I think your concern was the partnering, and correct me if I'm hearing it wrong, but you wanted to make sure there was that communication and engagement with neighborhood associations.
That we already do, and not to lose that.
Right, we already do that, so we didn't think it needed to be in here, but we just wanna make sure that we're not gonna lose what we're already doing.
The ongoing communication partnerships we have with the neighborhood associations. Somehow in here, I agree with all that, we need to make sure that, even though we're doing it now, we need to make sure it's. We say that it's,
Well, why don't we just insert, NA newsletters? I'll tell you, you know whose newsletter I use for the month? Rhonda. Because it is so thorough, she's got everything in there. So that would say, example, community e-newsletter, social media policy, and neighborhood association.
But I don't-
letters.
it's not just the newsletter, it's the partnership we have with the liaisons and being there at the neighborhood association.
Oh, okay.
Being present.
Okay, how are you gonna put?
Okay, develop
Mm-hmm.
and implement a citywide communications plan. And then I would almost suggest we add a task about reviewing, potential enhancements for existing
Partnerships.
yeah, or something,
Engagement or-
yeah, existing engagement pathways. What's that?
It's, those are $5 words. Reviewing potential enhancements.
Review existing engagement pathways for potential enhancements. That doesn't mean we get rid of them, that just means we look at them for ways that we can enhance it. How's that?
Don't lose it.
Yep.
Mhm. Got that, Adam?
Basic version of your, I got.
Okay, good. Basic person. She changed my life, you can tell. When that little lady walked up there, she said, I'm just a basic person. And I don't understand this, and then she talked, and I thought, I love you. Because if basic people don't understand this, we fail. We don't communicate, it's our responsibility. Okay, utilize and test innovative engagement tools to receive community feedback. And that is our community survey, right?
No, this is the,
That platform,
platform that comes with the survey that allows us to put issues out there and
Why do we call it? Isn't it a survey tool?
no, there's a survey specific, the 3 down or 4 down is.
Yeah, but what does the platform mean? What do you do, how do you get that information?
It's a
Tell me
web,
what it is.
it's a web based software that I'm still exploring, but in fact, we didn't really go after it, but it was, it's part of the citizen survey. They said, we'll give you 2 years on this engagement platform. I've tried other ones before. I think they were a little bit ahead of their time, but maybe.
Through this platform, how are you gonna engage with me? How do I,
So I could put out questions.
where could you put it out?
Pictures, and it would go out to social media sites, it could go out to some of our connect or notify me emails, we could use those through. So there's a number of different ways, yeah, I'm still exploring it, but we haven't had anything like this. It's a tool in the toolbox now.
Yeah,
And as people sign up with the new system, then we'll increase our coverage.
I like all that too. I'll tell you though, I think it's difficult to understand. I think innovative engagement tools, I think we have to find a better way to explain what that is. Rhonda, do you agree?
It can be, and it could be anything that comes up too, we can find a new one in 6 months
So,
and it fits into this.
I think, I know what you're trying to say on that, but I think that whole sentence needs work. What we want to say is, you know, we need a way that we can reach out in real time to ask a question or gain insight. And it needs to be called something that we can all understand. Good luck with that, thank you.
Yeah. I do.
I
agree
think
with
platform
you.
is a bad word.
I do agree with you that it's really funny, the number of engagement attempts that we want to increase.
Mhm.
And dollars.
Like almost a broadcast. Maybe we use podcast. You know, we want a broadcast engagement tool that will utilize multiple ways to connect with Kaiser residents, something like that. So then I immediately think text, email, social. So that's your challenge.
And those are all platforms that we have now with our website.
Yeah, that is your challenge, to find a way to say that in basic person language. That explains, it's just more broad. So if you're gonna put something out there in real time and you want a response, a fairly quick response, I might get a text, I might get an email, and I might see it on social. I'm gonna see it on all three of them. And maybe one of those will motivate me to reach out and get in touch. Yeah, that's what we're going for, right?
Right.
That's what you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, figure out a way to say that in basic person.
Can't you just say develop a,
Bill, come on, you're good at this.
either like a multi-facet or multi-pronged engagement approach or plan?
So that might, I mean, she's on to something that's multi-faceted. You know, she is a multimodal girl. Multifaceted, anyway, you know where we're going with that. Is the website redesign completed?
It's kind of like a code, it's
Work in
canonized,
progress?
but it'll be, probably 5 months or so of cleaning up as we discover things that.
Okay, so we can leave that in that. Conduct 4 town hall listening sessions annually to educate, inform, and listen to community on important topics. And I tell you what, that was a great Shaney Star idea, and that sucker is working, in my opinion, terrific.
Can we say a minimum of 4?
Yeah.
Because we might want 6, or maybe we want 8.
They will only need 2.
And here we have the width of participation. Yeah, I think we should say that, conduct a minimum of 4 listening sessions. Heck, we've already done that, haven't we? Done 4? How many have we done?
3,
2,
we did 2 on the YouTube,
yeah, and then I thought we did another.
and then you had one about the chicken place, that was kind of cool.
The what place?
The chicken place that's not a game.
That was kind of informing, but yeah, these things are working. These are good. Oh, we've got one scheduled for the Parks Master Plan deal, so yeah, we're there. Good. Okay, conduct a biannual community survey, and that's through your citizen survey, correct? And that's called a citizen survey.
Yep.
I like
Did we
that.
say resident survey?
Well, the name of the survey is the citizen survey. It's the actual name.
Okay.
I don't hate that.
Originally, we had it in here just as, survey.
community survey?
If you want to put resident, I don't care what, who I call resident.
You what, I'm sorry.
I don't care if we call it resident versus community.
Oh,
How do you say no?
I thought she said it was the citizen survey, and I would call it the resident or community survey.
That's what, actually, I think they may have actually changed it when Poco took it over.
Okay,
To
For
what?
many, for 3+ decades, it was called the citizen survey, and now I think it's called community survey.
Okay,
good.
okay. And how do we get that? How are we gonna get that community survey?
They'll send a mail out with a QR code so you can scan it and do it on a device. Or if you're one part of that random sample and you don't respond somehow, then they'll send you a mail copy that fill out with the.
And- So they'll use addresses
Mhm.
to send like our water bills. Something like that. And I'll have a QR code and I have to go to the QR code and then it will allow me to provide my information there. And when you say a random survey, how many?
I think it was around 2,000 responses for a random sample
Okay.
of 2,000. They'll also give us a link to put on our website and any other platforms, or
So 2,000 people will get it.
not platforms.
2,000 people will get it.
2,000 people will be selected at random to get it. Well, it'll be more than that. They'll get 2,000 responses out of the random sample. So they might have to send out 5,000
Oh, okay,
addresses to
okay.
get 2,000 responses.
So the net will be 2,000.
But then on top of that, they will also give us a link that all of you could share and we could share and put it out wherever we want. They will track that separately because that's not a random sample, straight
Okay.
random sample.
Okay,
That would be what called a snowball sample, so. But they'll track that separately, they'll compare the two. And they may be the same, they may be a little different, but what the data we can call statistically significant is going to give the random sample.
great.
That's exciting.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can start to geek out over that.
and Melissa Martin helped with determining questions and stuff, and yeah, it's exciting. Okay, and that's gonna happen in February.
Yeah, I think, I've been working with one of the executive leadership team and going through it, we need to do some rewording with contractor, and then, also, there's a couple of our committees that wanna look at it, the CDEC. Wants to look at it, I think, by multimodal committee wants to look at it, so, and I
But
asked.
they can't add questions.
Yeah, we have like a level of customization.
Yeah, but it was like, I know Melissa added, four,
Yeah.
very few. Here's what we don't want. We don't want CDEC to add 27 questions.
No, there'll be a limit.
So you will tell them in advance, you can review this, and you have the potential of adding
Yeah.
8 questions.
And eventually, I will bring that customized list to the council to look at.
Just the customized list.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Because
say
the other was the standard.
the rest of it is standardized, but
And so then the council will have the final approval on, yeah, we want to add this, and I'll tell you why that's a concern. It was like 3 pages long. Right?
Mhm.
And I think it got cut down a little bit. Maybe 2 pages, but the concern there is, and you know yourself, you open up, you have 5 minutes to take a survey? Yeah, I have 5 minutes to take a survey, and here's 487 questions, yeah. Close.
Nothing.
I just closed it. And I think that's a risky run, is that people that want to tell you what they think, but not 487 questions. I made that up, I thought.
we'll get it under the line.
Oh, thank you. Okay, great. So rather than conduct a biannual community, can we say implement, because we're doing it? So I just want to change the word from conduct to implement. Develop a training program for volunteers. Yes. That's you, Joe. You're gonna be the star of the show.
Okay.
Are you in?
Sure.
We need minutes.
So isn't that something you start thinking about it right now? Call all
It
your-
is.
all your No, they're probably doing it too. Okay, and last, identify policy for translation interpretation services. Okay, that goes along with it. Oh, it's up there, okay. To create a policy for how and when the city contracts for the services. Boy, and that's the one, it's really hard, we've got to get our arms around. When I was working for the legislature, like any legislate, when we were in session, any legislation, which as you know, changes every day. Like, we didn't provide any translation services. We couldn't get it done quick enough for the new iteration the following day. So we just said, we can't do it, it's none. So that just gives you an idea of what we're talking about when you say you've got to get your arms around that. I mean, folks still wanted it. It was impossible to find an organization or an individual that could provide it on a very short-term basis.
Yeah, and we were looking at the numbers of the ELT and I would say on average for the Spanish translation, we had 12 watches a month. Yeah. And so, you know, that's kind of what we need to have that policy discussion of is that worth the
Or do you put
price?
the final product, you know, like we make available.
The other thing is that we have AI, artificial intelligence is providing a lot of different solutions on the language runs that aren't perfect, but probably
Pretty
far
close.
more bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, if we gotta have some type of, see, try not to word, it starts with B, ends with the last one. But other solutions that may do 40 languages.
Solution is a good substitute.
But we're actively exploring those things and
Yeah.
it does need a policy review because we have things pop up. If somebody specifically asks for specific language, we have to try to be accommodating. But it can get really expensive really quick.
And, yeah, and especially, it's that short order, you know, if I want this before they go on the final, well. Yeah, okay, so that's good. Identify.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Okay. you
Double
got it.
blessed.
Holy cow, we're on the last one, we're gonna make it. Okay, goal 6, community growth. Responsibly plan and invest in community infrastructure and built environment to foster sustainable growth that preserves Kaiser's small town feel. As strategic issue statement, as Kaiser grows, it's important to plan wisely and invest in roads, parks, buildings in a way that keeps the city welcoming and connected. Expanding services and infrastructure must be done carefully to support new businesses and housing without losing the close-knit small town feel that makes Kaiser special. By focusing on development that protects green spaces and improving transportation, the city can create a strong foundation for the future while keeping the community's identity intact. Is that what you want to say? Yep. Mr. Julian. Councilor Julian. Yes. Okay.
Can we go back up to that first one though? I'm still repeating that to myself to see if it.
Responsibly plan and build, yeah, something's wrong.
And built environment, that's the one I'm.
Yeah, something, you're right, Shamey, something's wrong. Responsibly planning, investment, community infrastructure. And do we need build?
Build and.
And the built.
Needed determiner and the built.
Okay. That build, environment, okay, to foster sustainable growth, okay. We'll have that, thank you, gentlemen. Okay. City council priorities, seeking community direction on how to grow. Seeking community direction on types of housing. I mean, we really don't have any, we have no choice.
We really don't have many options.
I think. Instead of seeking community direction, because to that point, we don't have any choice. We're literally being told by the state, right, what we have to allow. So I think it comes down to more, community conversations around state directed about state mandates or something.
I hear what you're saying. I think this one was more closely related to the discussion around the urban growth boundary.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
What you're saying is,
Because people, I think we can do a better job and maybe I would love to, I don't know how we do it. I think it's gonna be a multifaceted communication approach and plan. But if we have to keep kind of banging that drum that look, when we get this developer's application to do X, Y, and Z, we can't say no. So we have to figure out how to do, continue communicating effectively. I think we're trying to communicate well. I think we need to keep repeating it over and over.
there's two ways people look at this.
Yeah.
If we add to the urban growth boundary, we're gonna increase traffic on River Road. Well, you also gotta look at the other side of that is if you don't increase space for people to move into, you're gonna cram everybody, and that's what's happened. I don't have anybody that is talking to me about how excited they are about all of the apartment complexes. But there's nothing we can do about that because that's being driven by what's available and what developers are gonna put their money into. What's gonna make them money. Because there's no place to put houses, no place to put neighborhoods that will spread things out a little bit with the increase of people we have coming into town. So, I mean, I've had so many people argue with me. If we increase neighborhoods, we make the town a little bit larger, that's gonna be better in my opinion. The feel of Kaiser is gonna stay the same, rather than cramming everybody together. That's how I look at it, but there's a lot of people that argue that.
Do
They think, they think if we make it bigger, the town's gonna feel bigger. Kaiser's never gonna get.
I agree with you. I think it sounds more, it feels more urban when you smash everything together in big city. where everybody-
Especially when COVID happened. You see all of the big cities having COVID and all those problems because they're all on top of each other. Everybody's going out one door, from 15 stories in New York, so everybody's close together. Whereas here, it's a little more open, you're not 5 feet from this.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No one says they love the apartments.
every law in the state fighting against.
Right.
Now, tell me that again.
Every law in the state fighting against you to have the type of character that I think we hear often of, we want more of. But you cannot have any more single family home neighborhoods. There's no single family home zone. So if we added a 3 acres for a new neighborhood,
It's gonna be apartments
it
and
It's-
single family.
could be, duplexes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's. still-
Row houses. Mhm.
Closer houses.
Middle housing.
And they're gonna,
Yeah.
Councilor Duran's right, they're going to maximize the property. As we're seeing right now.
Mhm.
Why would they build one house when I can build two?
Yeah.
Well, some of that though, I mean, they can't afford to build one house.
Sure.
Well, here's the frustrating thing that I've seen already. You mentioned OPEC earlier. That came through as a single family development. The builder was gonna build single family homes. He decided to sell it. Let me back up.
Oh,
The
I know the
developer
story.
was gonna build single family homes. He decided to sell the lots instead of build on them.
Mhm.
The builder started out with single family homes. And then changed his mind and did middle housing, duplexes, okay? With using the middle housing law to split the lots, okay? So I just heard this week. One side of that duplex is going for $400,000.
Yeah, they're $900,000.
I'm not kidding. So affordable housing? No. Somebody making a lot of money? Yes. So there's that game that's played in the development world too.
Okay, that's new.
That I just heard that this week and I was blown away that they
Yeah.
actually were selling, and they weren't asking that. They were selling them.
Well, sure, because they're gonna live in one side.
You get half the dirt
One side of it.
and you're paying, the same money as you were for a single family home on bigger lot 3 years ago.
So is that
Crazy.
development Kuski out south? That's what they did. They
Yeah.
were on 0 lot lines.
Yeah, they're a duplex, and we've got those over at McNary and. To that street,
Yeah.
they're duplexes and they're separately, so it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
But it was specific neighborhoods, now
it's every neighborhood.
every,
Any lot.
yeah, anywhere.
So is that, is
Okay.
there something in your council priorities there section? that-
Yeah, it was the seek direction on types of housing. We really. Why have that in there?
Well, I wanted to change it to something about communication and or education or dialogue.
To let the community know we have no control.
We have no control.
And if we can, in our communication, if we can get maybe people to understand what and maybe get a consensus of people. Because it's all over the board what people really think
Right.
should happen in Hazard. The only thing that people, is consistent is, why are we building so many apartments?
I agree with you.
But we can't choose that, so I think it's about enhancing community conversation.
Well, what I said-
Related to housing development or something.
Communication of limitations regarding types of housing.
Enhance communications regarding.
I think you're really onto something with the communication piece, because I think about the apartments on River Road. At Inland Shores that are close to the road. That was a single family home. That property's been zoned multifamily for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah,
The guy bought the house to the north of it and came unglued when the apartments were going in. Well, you didn't understand when you bought that property that it was zoned for multifamily when you bought your property. So that education and communication piece to get out to the community to understand apartments being built because the land's been zoned that way for decades and decades. And it's not a change. It's not new. It's just being taken advantage of now. The development's I don't mean taking advantage, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But educating the community and the public on the zoning and what's allowed in the zones, and that the city really has no control over that, other than changing the zoning.
so, and
Yeah,
that
exactly.
second bullet, rather than seeking community direction, it's enhanced communication of types of housing limitations.
Can we change that? Because I feel very strongly that we need to call it community conversations, because communication
Okay.
to me is just. It's like what we're saying, I think we need to have and start creating this model of community conversations.
I mean, one of the things I gotta think we gotta do is come up with as a council, as a city, what is our stance on this? And if we can.
We have the stance, the state has the stance for us.
No, on how we're gonna educate people.
Oh.
Is this, there's two ways to look at this, so which way is the city wanting to go? Cause when we have the conversations about UGB growth, this is the thing that the only thing we can talk about. And if we can get together on how we think this is a benefit or a detriment to the city, either way, and agree on something, if we can agree on it, then we can educate people on that direction.
Right.
That's what I think we'll encourage it to talk about.
Okay, that's the second bullet point added in your hearing. A priority is not adding to traffic congestion. I mean,
I
I-
don't know that we do control that.
well, I don't, but it's a priority. So that means it's in front of our face all the time. If there's a better way that we
We
can.
say manage traffic congestion.
But again, man,
Well, I wish you'd have managed it, me getting here tonight.
Thank you, Lori, for bringing Pete back.
Jeez.
That sounds like a time.
I wanna share something with you. Okay. It wasn't, or Sherlock. Okay, now should we add, Kaiser City Council priority, should we add north? Something to north-south arterial alternatives?
That'll be looked at the TSP update.
Yeah.
That'll be part of the TSP update.
Yeah, we did,
So,
okay. Okay, so the first one, complete housing capacity analysis. Second, complete two town halls and online survey on urban growth boundary options. Ish.
That when we technically done, we did the survey and then.
But we're still gonna need to have more. It's longer.
I don't think we're, yeah,
We haven't gotten,
there we go.
so it's gonna, we gotta get to a point
Yeah,
where.
we pushed back the presentation of the findings from the survey of the,
What were the findings of the survey?
well, mixed as you might guess, but some of the same messages that you've said tonight about this conflict between we wanted to be
Yeah,
a small town feel, but we don't want density and congestion.
I think folks think if we say no to expanding the urban growth boundary, that also means no to no growth, no, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
The people are gonna come and somebody's gonna find a way to sell something.
And the state is making us do it.
Okay, so the two town, oh. Continue
I
that.
think keep that as it is.
Yeah. I wanna share with you guys. Is it blue? My freaking. Okay. So here's that 3-story house on, or you know,
On River.
yeah.
I call you.
I call them work and live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I put that up here and said, here's what progress looks like. Holy smoke. That little gem got us 25,000 views and 2,400 comments.
Wow.
Mhm. People are like real excited.
and I bet they were all positive, weren't they?
Bill, that's- But you know what? I couldn't say it was weighted one way or another. It was pretty split, you know, and we had, I did have a lot of comments that said, what the hey, 3 stories? You know, they were shocked that we could have 3 stories.
And that close to the road.
And that close to the, how many do that?
You wanna-
Where's these people parking?
You wanna know the best part of
We
that,
got a lot of
of
where.
that development? We cannot require them to provide any parking.
Because they're within.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right by the bus, by the
Yeah.
bus, okay? They're doing it, they're putting parking in, cause they know to sell them and market them, they have to have parking, but the requirement is none. And I
Yeah,
can't,
But
I'm
again,
waiting,
that's part of what we need to communicate,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm
Here's
waiting-
what we're talking about.
I'm waiting for
This
the
is-
one to come in that doesn't provide parking.
It's not,
Well,
they're gonna wish they had.
exactly,
Okay.
Buy the lot next door. to put
Yeah.
parking.
Now,
it's
like,
crazy.
I might have been driving down River Road and stopped at a stop sign. I might have been. And flashed this little picture. And all I said is, well, the sign is up. Go Kaiser. Well,
We're
the
supposed to
sign's up.
open next week.
Okay,
That's-
to let you know, this is just to let you, that's all I said.
Mhm.
Well, sign is up. 66,000 people
Well,
viewed that with 5,992 comments.
oh, that's funny. To see it, it was to comment. The other one's like 1/10.
This probably, wow, something's wrong. This, what? 60,000? That's more than Kaiser.
Yeah.
So this is the issue. This is the issue. Development is the issue.
So your next one is the housing summit.
And that's what we've been talking about.
And you know what? And it's exactly what we're talking about, Adam. It's mostly just saying, we can't mandate height. Didn't Shane say we could go 5 stories high? They want us to go 5
I think
stories.
that's the
Can you
max, I
imagine?
think that's the
Yeah.
max.
People will lose their mind.
Yeah,
if we don't.
That goes well with the idea.
It's
Right.
50 feet.
45 feet or 50 feet.
50 feet.
Yeah.
River Road. Check of the
Yeah.
overlay zone.
Yes.
So that's not. 5.
That's not 5.
So that, So I think that option is on the housing summit, that's that huge communication piece.
Yeah.
To say, we almost need posters made, here's what we can control, and it would be like, here, this is what that would look like. And then here's what we can't control, and put to the side, who's controlling this? Folks need to see that, and that needs to be in, social media, that needs to be in newspapers. To let folks know just how limited, it doesn't matter who you elect here, they can't do anything else. There's one of those little boxes.
The thing is, 3-story is the max they can do.
No,
without putting it, no, without putting it in an elevator or sprinklers, right? I think.
Three stories require sprinklers.
Oh, it does, okay, but it's the elevator.
It's the elevator, and that's expensive.
That's
yes.
a
And
way
maintenance.
expensive.
Huge, hugely expensive.
Aware of it.
Maintenance is out.
Yeah, yes, it is, that's the Kaiser Cultural Center. Okay,
Public
so
Works
that's
Center.
what we mean, so isn't that what you're saying for that third task? It's not necessarily. It says housing challenges, opportunities, policy solutions, I mean, that's really more of a push out communication of how limited our decisions are. Okay, so that can be condensed. Okay, finalize and adopt housing production strategy. Now, that's not us. Yeah, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can scratch that out.
we can't.
That's something we have to do.
We can't do anything about it.
You
No,
can
but
take
we,
it off.
We
but
are.
don't we have,
We also did.
don't we have to adopt a strategy? The state said we have to adopt
Yeah.
a strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Can I ask
We
you-
have production strategy?
yeah,
But what does that mean if we can't?
Yes.
Tell people? And I'm not trying to be obtuse.
yeah.
I just need to understand, if we can't tell developers what they can build.
Yeah.
How can?
What's our strategy?
Yeah, what good is our strategy?
Our strategy is
Yeah.
basically to allow what a developer wants to build.
Good,
That's
so,
how, that's.
I mean,
You know,
I know
and
we can't do business,
just
but I'm like,
because-
okay.
It's a lot, there's a
Yeah.
lot to be said with what Kyle just said.
I know,
That's-
I think-
he has it, he always cuts to the bottom line. I love
These requirements were put in place before the middle housing laws really got crazy. And they were trying to encourage localities to always look at their amount of housing, type of housing, and it even feeds in with like the UGB question, because you have to have so much inventory for 20 years. And so if you look and you're like, oh my gosh, we have, much less supply of this type of housing and stuff like that. So I mean, a lot of those things sort of always fed into each other, that if
Mhm.
you're constantly doing these, yeah. But you're right, nowadays, it's like the residential housing, single family doesn't exist anymore. And so it's very,
it. Exclusive
yeah,
neighborhoods.
meaning, but meaning we can't stop people from building, middle housing on them, so.
Is the state requiring that we have a housing production strategy?
Yes.
Do we have any
That
influence
doesn't mean it
whatsoever?
has to be your priority or in your
Yeah.
strategic plan, we still have to do it.
Okay.
If you want to strike it off there, get that either way.
It needs to be on the planning commission's agenda.
Yeah.
not on council's agenda.
All right.
That's fair.
So do you want to leave it
Yeah.
or leave it or?
We got rid of it. Develop a public works facility plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Conduct a public utilities analysis. Public utilities being water, sewer.
Storms,
Yeah.
I would even put streets in, I would even put streets in there.
That back here.
Well, we didn't.
Water rate analysis.
So can somebody tell me what the difference between a public utilities analysis is versus?
Water is just water. And public utilities is sewer, stormwater, what else?
I would add streets.
And street.
Mhm.
So why?
So
I
it's,
mean, a street isn't necessarily utility, I mean, typically, but I think it's lumped into that same evaluation. I mean, you gotta have a plan
yeah,
So
for your transportation system, your streets.
Bill, do you remember what we had, what we were thinking when we?
I don't remember that clearly, I don't know, because, I mean, when I hear public utilities, I think of power, phone, gas, cable TV, okay, that's where my mind goes initially. But this really is centered more around our city public utilities, water, storm, sanitary. Primarily.
Yeah, and I'm, councilman, I'm having trouble remembering what we had in mind to different from what.
Well, the other one's just water. So is this one to talk about street sewer and stormwater? That's the only thing I can think of. The other three, yeah, everything but water, yeah.
I thought we talked about sewer somewhere.
I don't think we can.
We did, the term, oh. Well, it was the under goal 4, it was the policy for, this is I think maybe what we're thinking of. So we did a review of the water master plan, determine a policy for water, sewer, storm capital. I think that we talked about that, and then the water main replacement as defined by the master plan.
That's a policy for funding.
Yeah, I think that's what we
The
thought.
public, you know, if we, I mean, we could move that, but conduct a public utilities analysis, and because we're already talking about determining policy for water sewer. Pay as you go or debt financing, we should put it as or.
But you don't, the only place you can draw funding separate from,
Fees.
well, from taxes is stormwater.
Yeah,
Adam, I think I just looked where we said this. This is in the growth, community growth goal.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Conduct an analysis of the
Oh,
facilities of
SCBs.
utilities, what it would take for growth.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we capable, what can we provide? What are we capable of providing from our public utilities to accommodate growth?
so we need to say that then.
We have a cost of growth analysis.
Okay, so I think that's what, it's not worded very well, but in terms of that, but I think that's where what's the intention of that is.
And that makes total sense, and that's what I wrote, cost
And
of
so
growth.
with that, we removed the lawyer's retirement.
Yeah. Where are you going when you retire? You're not leaving, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to Mexico, going to Arizona for the month of March,
Mexico.
Oh, but only for a month?
just for a month, yeah, well,
You're not blocking our number, are you?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Okay, you guys, so now there's all our changes, we've made everything. I feel pretty confident that staff can incorporate those, and I feel confident in saying, let's schedule a work session. And let's defend our recommendation. And let's adopt a plan. How do you feel about that? Kelsey?
That sounds good.
Do you want, well, I mean, we could meet one more time, Shani, if you want a last look, but he's gonna send them out to us. And give us last looks, and then we can fine tune anything that we think needs it in the city council work session.
I don't think we need another meeting.
I don't either,
I don't wanna meet just to meet and take up everybody's time, so.
and neither do I. So with that, I say, huh?
Especially on Friday night.
Oh, no, we're only gonna schedule on Friday nights. Okay, and time is 6:04 and we're adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. I know this was painful.
Thank you for working through.
But there is pizza,
Please eat it. It's cold now. You're gonna have to nuke it.
but you know what? Actually, both pizza's good.
I'm good.
Okay. Now.
I did the recording stopped, but when I looked at this, it looks like this only went this far. I don't know what that means.
Just looks like that.
Oh, okay.
Should be fine, it should be there.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I just. Have a good weekend, guys.
Hey, same to you.
Thank you.
So Laura, can I real quick,
Chris
has the problem, she'd like.
confirmed that I want to be the 55 or older community.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, but I'm like
Okay.
2 weeks ago, 5, so why not?
Oh, you're gonna throw me in.
Nice.
Friends that was there.
Happens to be.
Are they in Phoenix?
It's a neighborhood.
That's the Beavers. I was gonna say, isn't that what the Beavers do?
Golf courses. They really don't even feel like they're doing it. If they don't.
So now they're doing,
It's a mini city.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Like what year?
Yeah.
our left-handed.
so,
grandson.
other than I wanted
Janice Hyde was a really popular.
I'm speaking with all these.
She's like, you're not allowed to drive
And he
anymore.
has to go out.
Well,
Parents can't take him.
She argued with me when we keep off.
Well,
Her ball was out of her body.
Welcome. 5 days.
It's hanging on mine. Well, because I.
Might miss it.
And she changed her off of that.
We're going away.
Bang, bang, went way past. Further.
You know, my
So
brother
anyway.
made that sacrifice.
I thought you watched it.
Yeah.
So she was looking right. And was that right?
Nice.
And I see it. Should have looked to see if she was seated all the way back.
Oh.
Hit the brakes. She goes through that windscreen salt and it's our friends. Nice.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to repair that. I had to buy a whole new windscreen for him and.
Is she okay?
So anyway,
Oh, yeah.
She have marks?
She's, no, she's a little sore.
Yeah.
As she's busting through the front. She just scratched her hand a little bit.
So I wanted.
Got to see her dog. It's Friday, I know, I can
Yeah.
always show you this later, but. So we went to a couple concerts and hung out with her daughter, so that's just
Are you gonna?
going crazy. Concert, anyway, we
Yeah.
saw rodeos, went to concerts, we looked at different areas. My daughter lives in Mesa, the other,
Yeah.
our friends live in Goodyear, and
Let me phone in.
I'm thinking that they're all very similar. Price wise, similar,
Yeah.
although there are some communities like Scottsdale that's just
Yeah.
Never heard that.
so expensive.
Yeah.
It's Saturday, Sunday, come back one day.
Yeah, it is.
This one, you get other stuff.
Listen.
The parade, the this, the.
Oh, the parade.
It's on.
And so it's very exciting.
Yeah, somebody got found by his nonsense and how. We'll never forget.
Yeah, exactly.
One time,
Yeah. That'll be a good one.
But see, I was trying to.
Yeah.
Confirm for her, that I was watching her ball, I knew where it was at. So. I would lie if I didn't say I was a little satisfied.
Yeah,
Okay, how do you say?
But. She was fine.
And we will stand, now here's the good news, I just said, this is our recommendation now, we own this. And they agree. And that's what we'll do. Okay, there we go. Who's gonna take this damn pizza home? Adam? And?
I'll put it in the back room.
Well, it's Friday,
Let me ask you where you're still.
I can take it home tomorrow.
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right,
The big round here.
yes, sad but true.